So I'm going to show you how I do the bone broth on the stovetop. So I just quick boiled the beef. And the reason why I did that, as soon as I brought it home, I boiled it and it got all this gunk on the top. And I'll take this pot over to the sink and rinse it out and kind of rub off all that other grit that's on the bone and then put it in the big pot. So I quick rinse the bones and I'm about to put it in the pot here. I have a big stock pot. In there, this time around, I just have two big old garlic, a round onion, and some celery, and some ginger. It's about the size of the palm. And then I'll just put the bones in there and lay them in. Oh, it's hot. Guess I should have got some tongs to put it in there. So the bones that they had there that I got, this is, I guess, the femur bones. It just depends on what type of bones they have at the butcher. But anything that has good exposure to the marrow is pretty good, like this. This, you can already see some of the marrow and collagen in it, and that's exactly what you want. So after you put that in there, you'll want to take clean water, which I use filter water. You don't want to use distilled water or anything like that because you lose the mineral. But you put filtered water in there and you fill it up. Of course, I'm going to have to get more, so I won't do that while the camera's running. But I'll probably fill the pot up to about right up here, so that way I can get a good level of stock. So I've cooked it, and last night I stuck it in the refrigerator. So it got all the fat on the surface hardened. So what I'll do is I'll just skim the fat off the top, and then I'll put it in the bowl. Now you can also save that and cook with that if you like, or you can throw it out, just whatever you decide. But that is pretty good, decent fat, so it would not be harmful to cook with it. And then after I skim all the fat off of there, I'll do a quick boil once again and then let it cool, and then I will transport it into little Ziploc bags, and I'll show you how I do that. So I've put the bone broth into a Ziploc bag. Normally I use the freezer quart size that has the double seal, and I put it on here. Now if you want to make more room in the freezer, you can lay them straight and they'll freeze, but I have a designated area for my bone broth, so I just fill them up. Normally I just put what type of bone broth there it is, because sometimes I'll make chicken, which I'll do another night. And then the date that I make it, normally I use it within a couple of months anyway. But I use the quart size because just that one quart size, I can get a couple of meals out of it. Whenever a recipe calls for broth, I just add a little bit of the bone broth in it. And then if one of the boys is super sick, then I'll just pull out a bag and actually make a whole meal or some type of soup or something with a whole thing of bone broth. But that's it. So out of that big old batch, I did use quite a few of it for dinner tonight. And then I have about 5 bags on reserve for me to use. So this should last me for a couple of months. And then I'll make another batch again. All right, enjoy.